You're listening to Be the Exception podcast, episode 172. At the time of this recording, we are entering into the back to school season, and I wanted to share some tips today that as a special education teacher, I have learned some the easy way and some the hard way of what you need to do as far as must-dos at the beginning of the school year and things that you can do as time allows. So today we're going to chat about those 12 different things you need to make sure that you do during your teacher in-service days and those first couple days of school to start your year off with success. So as we jump into that episode today, I wanted to share at the time of the recording that when this airs, there's also a TPT sale going on. My entire shop is on sale, and you can find all of my bundles and all single download products as well, all 25% off. So make sure and check that out. And you can even implement some of these strategies that we talk about today for an even lower price. So make sure and check that out. So let's go ahead and jump on in to today's episode.
Welcome to Be the Exception podcast. As teachers, each one of us has something that comes naturally to us that others would love to know more about. Throughout this podcast, we'll chat with amazing professionals and offer easily digestible tips that you can quickly implement in your classroom or business, helping you stand out with things you do really well. Your host, Dawn Ellis, is a qualified educational specialist with 10 years of special education experience, published journal articles, and was a state finalist for Elementary Teacher of the Year. Dawn provides tools for special education teachers to perform at their very best, helping deal with the frustrating daily obstacles of being an educator. She offers a roadmap of resources and strategies to make you a confident leader in your school and community. So if you're ready to start the conversation, learn from others, and grow together, you're in the right place. Now here's your host, Dawn Ellis.
Well, hey there, and welcome back to another episode of Be the Exception podcast. My name is Dawn Ellis. I am a special educator of 15 years, and I am headed into a brand new, well, this is my 15th year, and I am a board certified special educator and have my ed specialist in this as well. And I love coming on here every week to chat with you and give you strategies and tips. And this week is no different. I'm sharing some of my favorite tips as a new school year approaches to help you feel successful all year long. So it's natural to feel a mix of excitement and nerves during this season, but fear not, as I've got you covered with a comprehensive guide to help you kickstart your year off with confidence and success. In this episode, we're going to dive into some essential tips, some real-world examples, and some must-haves that you as a special education teacher need, both if you are brand new, if you are a veteran, or if you are in a new placement of special education that you've never done before. So let's go ahead and dive on in to today's episode. So tip number one is to make sure you're getting to know your students and families. So the foundation of every special education classroom is the understanding of your students' unique strengths, challenges, and individual needs. So I would make sure at the top of your priority list that you take time to review those IEPs, which are individualized education programs. And I would say that this is the first tip that I would give you. And to take it even a step further, seek additional insight from former teachers, service providers, and the parents. Now, if a student has, say, dyslexia, you want to understand their preferred learning styles that will aid and help them feel independent and accomplished for the different reading assignments that they have throughout the school day. Now, this is also important to say, like, as you read these IEPs and you learn about them, I like to do an IEP snapshot for myself and the general ed teachers. I also like to do a meet the case manager form where the family and students can get to know me a little better and what all I'm going to be providing for that learner in the upcoming year. In addition, I have a blog post all about building rapport with families, and that's a great blog post to check out if you kind of need some help wrapping your mind around how to get to know your families a little better and to start off that year. In addition, I also have a welcome packet in my TPT store. It's actually on sale today at the time that this episode airs, and it has all the back to school forms that you need to start off your school year with success. I'm talking surveys, I'm talking permission slips, I'm talking meet the teacher forms, and so much more. So make sure and check that out if that is something that you feel like you need. All right, tip number 2. We want to make sure that we are creating a supportive learning environment. Your classroom should feel safe and inclusive, but also not overwhelming. We want to make a place that every student feels valued and supported. So make sure that you are arranging your classroom to accommodate the diverse learners' needs. Consider having flexible seating options and a quiet area for concentration. In addition, make sure that you're taking time to think through your decorations and maybe even err on the side of functional instead of Pinterest perfect and super cutesy. Not to say those two can't coincide together, just make sure you're being careful of the fonts that you use, the colors that you're using, make sure it's not too busy, and those kinds of things. In addition, you make sure if you have a sensory corner that you have plenty of fidgets and different seat options so that learners can stay focused or have an area to calm down. Tip number 3 is to collaborate with your colleagues. While it's no secret that teamwork is essential to special education, making sure to collaborate with your general education teachers, your therapist, support staff, and all the other adults that we interact with on a daily basis, this helps ensure a seamless and cohesive learning experience. Make sure to share and listen to strategies, resources, as well as success stories to help empower you to have the best year yet. If you co-teach with general education teachers, making sure that you are co-planning with your teacher and even having a way to communicate, maybe sharing a Google Doc or a Google Keep so that you both are on the same page for the different lessons and making sure you're targeting all of the learners' abilities. In episode 174 that is coming up, and 175 that's coming up in just a few short weeks, we're going to talk in much more detail about co-teaching and collaboration. So make sure you pencil in to listen to that episode as well. It is going to give you lots of strategies if you're wondering how to continue to improve in that area. All right, tip number 4. This is all about planning with IEP goals in mind, because that is our main focus for our learners that have IEPs. So you want to make sure that when you are working with your learner that you craft your lesson plans and activities around the IEP goals and your students. We want to individualize the instruction to address their specific needs while keeping content relevant and, the most important thing, engaging. So, for example, if you have a student that has a social skills goal, you want to plan group activities that encourage that interaction and communication. So, as you think about your different lessons, could you have visuals in your room or even on your smartboard with a timer and an agenda to let them know what's going on? Could you have interactive activities on the smartboard or at a center to reinforce the activity that you may have taught in an individual setting so that it can cross-translate into various activities? There's a ton of different strategies and activities that definitely can focus in here in my TPT shop, so make sure and check that out as well to get everything that you need to diversify your activities this upcoming year. Tip number 5 is to prepare a welcome packet for parents. This well-prepared welcome packet helps parents understand your teaching approaches and creates a strong home-to-school connection. You want to think about including an introduction letter, an overview of your classroom rules or routines. If you already have an idea of what a schedule or curriculum guide, pacing guide you may already have, you could go ahead and include that as well as letting them know your communication plan for the year. This helps establish progress and updates and communication between the parent and the teacher, and it is so important and helps set the tone for the rest of the year. And like I said earlier, if this is something that you are needing, it's already done for you and it's completely editable so that you can make it tweak however you need to in order to have success and spend less time preparing and wondering what all you need to include and more time doing those little things at the last minute that you need to within your classroom. Tip number 6 is attend those professional developments that you are assigned to during your teacher in-service week or days that you have. As a special education teacher, continuous learning is key to your growth and effectiveness. Attend workshops and trainings that focus on special education strategies and resources. Learn from experienced educators and adopt evidence-based practices to use all year long. So you want to make sure that you are asking and attending different workshops that are available to you. Some of those you may have to research to find things, but if you are looking for professional development, we have a membership that is for special educators. We do take POs, and we can even draft a letter to your principal if you're needing training, templates, and curriculum. It's called the Exceptional Collective, and it is open right now. So if that is something that you want to check out, make sure and slide into my DMs and we can chat about that. But I would love for you to come be a part of that for a very low price, and to have those constant trainings and a group of people who are focused on improving those special education strategies and resources for teachers. Tip number 7 is to build relationships with students, making sure that we take that time to build strong relationships with our students at the beginning of the year. Make sure to get to know their interests, their hobbies, and their aspirations. Now, maybe you're wondering, I don't really know how to do that, especially with my kids who are non-speakers. Well, this can be done in the form of eye gazing to objects. You could have the parents fill out a preference assessment. You could have a variety of activities laid out and see what they gear more towards. You could do this in a lot of different ways, but learn from experienced educators and create a welcoming environment so that they feel comfortable and they can share their thoughts and concerns and that they're willing to learn. So, for example, engaging in a brief one-on-one conversation with a student at the beginning of the year can go an incredibly long way in establishing trust. Tip number 8 is to utilize your assistive technology for your learners that need to access this. This helps aid in their learning and it fosters their independence. Making sure that we take time to understand the device so that we can also train our paraprofessionals. This may be done in modeling by showing a tip or a word each and every week to build upon. Remember, you don't have to be fully knowledgeable of the device. You just got to start somewhere. and learning a little bit each week can have a huge impact for your entire classroom. Tip number 9 is to implement behavior support plans. Now, this is where we make sure, as we are reading those IEPs that we talked about earlier, that was tip number 1, for our learners that have those behavior support plans, that we're taking time to work closely with our school's behavior support team to develop those supports and follow that plan that has been developed for them. So that constant and consistent positive reinforcement definitely will help, as well as other strategies to help decrease those significant behaviors. Now, I know at the system that I work with, our behavior specialist comes in and helps us set up kind of our data collection and what we're looking for. And then I train my peers to help take that data as well to help target those behaviors that we are working on. I'm sure it looks different from system to system because that's not necessarily how it worked at the system before that I worked at. However, just being aware of what the plan says and what the steps are in there, that we're all implementing those, and that everybody in the school that needs to know is aware of that behavior plan, just like the IEP. Tip number 10 is to be prepared for individual accommodations. Each student has different needs, and as a special ed teacher, you must be ready to make those individual accommodations. So doing that IEP snapshot and having an overview of the IEP definitely helps hone in to the different accommodations that are needed so that you can help prepare for assignments that are needed to be accommodated so they can be done quickly. So as a special education teacher, the journey might seem overwhelming, but I hope with these tips and these real-world examples, you feel more equipped to start your year off with confidence. Remember, every step you take to understand and support your students will have a lasting impact. So, are you ready to kick off your year with everything you need to be successful in your special education classroom? Check out the Back to School Special Education Teacher Bundle. It's available on our TPT shop, and it is a comprehensive bundle including all the essential resources, lesson plans, and management tools designed to empower special educators just like you. It's got your snapshot sheets, it's got your welcome packet, it's got emergency sub-plans, it's got your digital planner, and so much more at a very low price. So don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to set your students up for success, growth, and achievement this year. Get your bundle now and embark on a rewarding journey as a special education teacher this year.